gave us Motown, gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
Leave it outside, it's packed.
I like fighting number 2. Free health care for illegal...
Dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
Here I am like an idiot.
All right. We're getting close. Gather in. Listen to that. Boy, my voice tired from yesterday. Yeah, gather in. Super. Guess who's going to have some vocal rest after the show today before the show tomorrow since I got to sing. There. Hit that like, everybody. Let them know that you're here. Oh. Right, here we go. I can feel it. And we're on Instagram. It's working. Look at that. Oh, man, my leathery voice today. After yesterday, that's absolutely true, man. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, me. The button work? No, of course it isn't. Why would it work? That's hilarious. That'll work. Okay, that'll do. Hi, everybody. Good morning. How you doing? Happy Friday. Lots of going on this morning. Pardon me if my voice is a little weak this morning, and I've got to sing tomorrow night, so it probably was not smart for me to do the entire Hunter Biden deposition last night. But boy, was it fun. A good time was had by all, especially our dear friend, the honorable lady from the great state of why not? Wyoming, that's what it is. Why bother? What was it called? Anyways, that was a party, and Hal, thank you for last night's marathon. Never thought I'd say that to a guy. Oh, well, there you go. Thanks. Yeah, that was a that was a big one. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. I have to admit, you could tell probably as I was doing it, this kind of thing I would do. On, you know, it's basically what I would be doing at home if I was alone and no one was in the house, and I would just reading out loud from this stupid thing. But it was a good time. Anyways, love you guys. Glad you're here. Good morning. Happy Friday to all of you. Now, yesterday, because of that, we missed a lot of clips that we had, waiting in the wings. Not all of them are worth retreading because a lot of it's this, the same bullshit. And I think I answered a bunch of them simply by doing, the. I'm getting funny messages on the Discord from CSL from yesterday, and they just popped up on my screen. Good stuff. It is so choice. That a lot of the stuff we don't, whatever. I answered it by doing the entire deposition. If you didn't get a chance to watch it last night, we can watch it in fucking chapters, I guess, because it was a long one. Slice it up yourself, I suppose. And it's gonna be a good thing. So, go through it at your own pace, as it were. And hold on. Where is this thing on this one? Because I had to change these, but Oh, there's not a chat specific. There you go. Hi, chat room. Good to see you. Good morning. Hello. How you doing? What's the going on? After that transcript, Hunter is a prince, is what they're saying. Yes, I agree. Highly recommended. Love yesterday's show. Thank you so much. It kept you awake. I'm sorry. I was up late myself last night, being quite imperfect, I will say. I was long as spent 3.5 hours in New York City traffic, and still made the show. Good to hear what went on, so we can call out the GOP talking points. Yeah, I mean, you guys, I gotta say, we went through the whole friggin' thing. Oh, thank you, Nick. Yeah, 666. Thanks for the 666 super chat, because we have hit 66K. I forgot even to announce it. Whatever, yesterday or the day before, whenever it happened, because we were so busy with show stuff. We're getting there. Are we at 66.6? Somebody's got to get a screenshot of 66.6, because that's going to be a point of pride until we hit 100K. I'm just saying. We're gonna watch that like a hawk. Yeah. And good morning, CSL. He's having tech issues. He's fine. Andrea's modding for us and in the background. We don't have any guests today. It's just you and me, kids. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to do an hour this morning, and then I'm going to do my afternoon show earlier, because I have to be done by 4 o'clock so I can go to the airport. So instead of starting at 3 today, I'm going to start at 2. Hope that's okay. Hope that's all right. I know somebody said 100K easy. You'd think so, considering the number of people who watch the show. You don't think I know those numbers? You don't think, hello, writers' rooms all across the country? How are you this fine morning? You know who you are, bless your hearts. Watching me while you're on the treadmill or the Peloton. I don't know. I guess you have to watch the exercise person while you're on the Peloton. But watching my show while you're on your exerbicycle and looking out the window of your, I don't know, Manhattan apartment, perhaps the Bronx, if you're a writer. Hi all of you guys. Hi everybody at the White House and in the Capitol, and hi everybody in I guess foreign capitals across the world. You know who you are, who are watching me as well, to get it to like, if they finally figure out how to implement what this guy's saying, we're going to be in trouble. You folks, yeah, hi. I'd like to say hi to you as well. We're Megaworldwide for a reason. So yeah, waking up to Hal's impression of Harriet Hagman was enough to get me to jump out of bed. Heebie-jeebies. Sorry. That's the other thing about time zones, is some people didn't get it late night last night. They got it early in the morning. Jimmy Kimmel's writers are definitely watching Hal Sparks. I heard him say a couple of Sparksisms. Yeah, they get out. Oh yeah. Hi everybody at real time. Hello. How are you? Most of them watch the afternoon show, I think, too. But rather than the morning show, I don't know what their schedule's like. But yeah, they're definitely popping in there. Yep. Hello. AOC quotes Al. It's true. Many do. And I have to say, can I just say, as I've said hello to all those folks, I love you and I'm glad. You see, if it was stealing a stand-up bit that I did, excuse me, if I had a stand-up bit that I did in my normal stand-up and they stole that or they used that or they quoted that without permission or something like that, I'd be upset because it's something that I'm building comedically from my point of view for my show that has to do with how I see the world and other bits of it. But most of this stuff is like fucking toilet paper. It just, once it's used, you can't use it again. And so from a comedic standpoint, there really is no way for me. Like, I don't care. Once this moment's gone, I'm not gonna make a joke about the same moment again. So if it manages to work its way out through other stuff and there's a ripple of joy, I don't care. Hal, was last night a record for super chats? It was very nice. I don't know that it was a record. We did it was lovely. It was, but yeah, people were very supportive of the ongoing the marathon itself. Oh, look at that! And somebody Venmoing me early in the morning. That's lovely. Patrick, thank you so much. He says, great show. Thank you so much. That's very nice. Yes, the Venmo is right there, and you can send me a cup of coffee anytime you want. He said 666, so that was really nice. Thank you so much. To help us buy 666 Fifth Avenue. That's what that's the goal, and it's gonna happen. I did not take off my shirt once. That is true. I did not. You know why? Because I was afraid of the kidney. Not so much of scared as panicked. All right. Okay. Let me start with the ridiculousness of the news this morning. Well, no. Let's start with this because we didn't get to do this clip yesterday. So I don't normally do these on morning shows, but I got to do a clip if I can. Oh shit! Right. That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, if I may, and I think that I can. This is the best part about this video, I think, besides I think the title, President Trump destroys Joe Biden. No. Did he really? Did he really? Did you really destroy him, or he just kind of blathered about him, I guess, again, right? Yeah. All right. But I'm just gonna say, and I don't even have, do I have my shit? I don't even have my. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, hold on. This is wrong for legal reasons. I have to put something up on here. Where is it? Yeah, it's gonna be in stills and so probably something like that. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, screen stills, screen grabs, running zone. Thumb. It's not in thumbnails. Where did I put it? Crap. Anyways, I'll just give a verbal nunt warning. It's pretty hideous. The don't stare at the nunt too long, or it will boil your brain. That's all I'll say for now. How about that? Okay. Because by the way, the Ozempic is doing its level best to boil Trump's brain. Let me tell you something. When you're overweight and you lose weight, that can be a good thing for your health. If you do it shockingly fast, it can be a little rough on you. If you do it through, more than likely he's on Ozempic. That's the scuttlebutt. If you do it with a lap band or something like that. That is through constriction of the food that's going through your system. So you'll lose a bunch of weight, but it's because your body isn't consuming the calories and your body will act as such. Who the fuck knows what happens when you take a pill that makes you lose the weight really fast? So, this is not something that we've seen a 5-year, 5 years after people started taking Ozempic, this is what happened. You know what I'm saying? We've run into a couple of problems. Yeah. And so it's very strange to me. I mean, it's not surprising. It's actually, fuck it. It's not even strange. The way Ronnie Jackson was dumping Ambien and fucking Adderall down this asshole's gullet. I'm shocked he's not just going, cocaine was great for weight loss. People were very skinny. Right? So let's see what he says. This is a 2-minute. It only takes him 2 minutes and 8 seconds to destroy Joe Biden. Destroy him. He destroys him in 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Now, I know what you're thinking. Didn't Joe Biden get up this morning and continue to do work for the country? He's doing just fine. Yep. Does that doesn't sound like destroyed to you? Well, maybe you've got TDS.
Democrats are at it again.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why this starts.
Radical left Democrats are at it again. They're constantly making up stories about me.
Oh. Is this about Mercedes versus Melania?
Because their candidate is a mental and physical basket case. There's never been anything like it. So
also, there's never been anything like it. That phrase, the variations of that phrase, like he cannot. It's like every other sentence in his speeches now.
So the worst president in the history of our country. He went on a very poorly rated show last night.
By the way, Seth Meyers, hi. Hi to all your writers, too. How you doing? You guys are great. Love you. I look forward to being on the show one day. No harm, no foul. I love you. I'm a big fan of A Closer Look, although I feel like... Never mind. It's great stuff, and he's a good dude. And that's the show he's talking about, by the way. He was on Seth Meyers.
And he talked about Donald Trump and his wife. I don't know the name of my wife. He was referring.
Okay. He was talking about Donald Trump and supposedly, I don't know the name of my wife. That's the sentence. That's how you convey that thought in English to other people who speak English. Exactly. Which wife? Right. So this is... Watch this.
In the history of our country. He went on a very poorly rated show last night.
Okay, that's a statement, but, an opinion.
And he talked about Donald Trump and his wife. I don't know the name of my wife. He was referring to the fact that at...
By the way, that's just jumbly shit. You're 24 seconds in. Cut, move back, try it again. He's talking about, he's talking about me. I know he's going to say Donald Trump because he speaks in the third person like an asshole. And let me tell you, Hal Sparks would never do that. Hal Sparks isn't the kind of... I don't Hal Sparks like that. You know what I mean? When I'm Hal Sparksing, I don't know Hal Sparks like that. If Hal Sparks is going to Hal Sparks, he's going to Hal Sparks the Hal Sparks way, okay? Hit that like. I just think... Here's the thing. This is very sad, but I know the material value of speaking your own name when you speak about yourself in publicity. I know it. I've seen it. It works for people. It absolutely has an impact. It is like super functional. It does spread your name out. It does move you closer to being a household name. But it also reminds people you're an asshole. It makes you an household name for asshole. Like if somebody fell on a spike, they would say, my Donald Trump hurts. You know what I mean?
CPAC, where I had a sold-out speech, the biggest...
Okay, nobody buys tickets to the CPAC speech. You don't sell out... I mean, maybe they do. Do they sell tickets? I don't think so. I think you just sign up for it, don't you? It's a fucking convention. Is that an e-ticket ride? Is that how they do it? Get the fuck out of here. It's sold out. And by the way, the audience was way fucking down. That was all the stories about CPAC was like the turnout was ass.
Audience they've had in years, I think maybe ever.
No, not by any stretch, either of those things. It was, I mean, for fuck's sake, it was materially and factually and in reality on Earth One, not the biggest crowd they've ever had, and not the biggest crowd he's ever had, and not the biggest, I mean, it may very well be, I mean, it might be like the Chinese economy graph. They may be back to like 93 numbers.
I made the statement that Melania was very popular.
No, you didn't. You made the statement that the First Lady was very popular because it seems weird that you say First Lady, but you can't say her fucking name right away. You don't say Melania and let's give it up for our First Lady. But, everybody loves the First Lady. But, like saying her name first or saying Melania right after he says First Lady. He doesn't do that. He just says First Lady. And then, like, there are times when she calls him darling or president. Remember when he would quote her and she was calling him president? It's just like, Jesus Christ. It sounds like president is her safe word. Just get away from me. It reminds me of that Portlandia sketch, Cacao. If you guys know that one. Okay, cacao's going to be my safe word. Anyways, let's go over to my sister's Cacao, and we'll walk in there, and I'm going to bring some flowers and cacao, and if you're going to cacao, don't tell me that you don't want to cacao eat her lasagna, because cacao, like, oh, God, I fucking love that. Like, if Melania has like, Trump's probably like, she keeps saying this, word over and over again. She keeps calling me sir, right? Sir is the safe word. She's like, sir, please, sir, please, sir. So we're gonna find out later that, like, everybody in the staff was told from HR that sir is the safe word. If he's getting too close to you or he touches you, just call him sir, and he stands up straight because he thinks somebody else walked into the room. Sir.
Because when I mentioned her name, the audience went wild. I then looked at the two.
Oh, edit. So you weren't going to edit the first part? You're going to edit this shit? Also, digging the doom, my man. I don't know what is happening with the do. I got to say, this looks like you just walked in. You were wearing one of the bill caps. There's the little flap from underneath it where your hair's poking out under the hat. And the rest of it is all matted down. You were definitely just wearing a hat outside. Came in, either were in a suit or threw on a suit or had a suit and a hat or whatever the fuck. And immediately were like, this motherfucker, and had to make a video. Your ego was so fucking weak. Right? Oh, it can't afford a makeup person? No, absolutely not. I mean, I think, I mean, you're a billionaire, right? Wouldn't you have a makeup applying machine you could just shove your face in? Jesus Christ. I would have gotten look, if I'm president when I'm president one day, let's be honest, because at the very least, I'm either going to be president of the United States of America, or at some point there's going to be like a virtual setup where you can go in and they'll plug electrodes into your brain, and about 20 years from now, and you can live a life as whatever you want. And I'm like, I'm going to be president of the United States, and I'm going to do it in this modern time with these current details. And then you guys can check back in an hour after I've lived 80 years in this simulation and see if I did a good job. And if I did, we're going to implement every fucking thing I did. All right, let's do it. It's not a bad idea. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine campaigns like that in the future? Talk about fried AI. Wait a second. I think we've stumbled on something. Let's say, instead of a cognitive test, the presidents have to play, during the campaign, they play a game of sim president. Right? And the president, and it's like super hyper realistic. It's kind of like astronauts in a simulator. Where did I get that idea from? And you go, right? And instead of actually campaigning around, I'm going to do this, they put you in this thing, and you're just in it, floating in gel like Luke Skywalker. And then you have, you think you're in this mode. You experience it almost as real. And everybody gets to watch you be president during so over the course of a month, we see it makes you go through this whole experience. You live as a human being inside your own physical body. You live your entire presidency, 8 years, with all kinds of possibilities. And people can go, and it's multitudinous, so that it doesn't have to be just singular experience. What happens if this happens? All your plans are put in, and all people's biggest questions can be put in. And then while you're in this gelatinous substance, thinking that you're president for 8 years or 4 years and getting reelected and all that shit, they actually, rabbit hole alert. Thanks, Mark. By the way, how you feeling? You okay? You good? You all right? Anyways, so you're in this, and then they can check in and see, I wonder how he handled education while he's in it. And then you do it, and like once they're out, people can watch like a month-long summary of the thing, like looking at like, this is what we did over the last 8 years. And people can actually decide to, vote based on how they saw you actually react. It's going to happen. I'm just saying. As long as humans run shit, it's going to happen. And I've just invented it. You're welcome. All right, here we go. Back to this dipshit and Hathead. A suit, an unused room at Melania, listen to me, at Mar-a-Lago, where he's arguing about Melania's name and whether he remembers it, and Mercedes Schlapp and all this shit. And he's got Hathead, and he's miserable and angry. Yeah. Let's go back to here.
The audience went wild. I then looked at the two people, man and wife, Matt and...
Man and wife. I looked at the two people, man and wife. Jesus, what? Okay, first of all, it's Matt Schlapp, who is the fact that asshole hasn't been kicked to the curb at CPAC for sexually assaulting male staffers. What the fuck? Who says that? I then looked at the two people, man and wife. Man and wife. Say man and wife. Man and wife. You may kiss the bride. Sorry. Man and wife. Oh, Bonnie, thank you. I just created an outline for a sci-fi book. Yeah, I'll have it written by AI by the afternoon. Man and wife. I'm sure there's a gif of hold on. Marriage is what brings us together today. That's yeah. Marriage is what brings us together. Wouldn't that be nice? You seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you. You seem a decent fellow. I hate to die.
Mercedes Schlapp. And I said, wow, they really like the First Lady.
Oh, wow. I said, wow. I said, wow. Really, did you? Grown man? That's what you said? Wow, they really like the First Lady? Where, again, you couldn't get her name out. Also, here's the thing. This motherfucker, and goddamn, all right. Bone to pick time. Bone to pick. I need a graphic that just goes like a bone and a pick and pickaxe. Whatever. Anyways, just assume it's here. Bone to pick time. Can I point something out that I find particularly fucked up about this asshole? What he says all the time when he's talking about himself is Donald Trump, they're out to get Trump, they're out to get Donald Trump, Trump. So he's aware of the value of people knowing your actual fucking name. You need your name on people's lips. They need to know about you, and they got to be aware of the House Sparksiness of being House Sparks in a House Sparks situation when House Sparks is busy House Sparksing on House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, at the thingy. All right? He knows this. He knows this. He drives this home all the time. He refers to himself, they don't really like Trump. She ran on not liking Trump and Trumpity Trump. But then he won't say his wife's fucking name. He refers to her as the First Lady. Ultimately does that without saying her name. Our lovely First Lady, our First Lady. The First Lady. People love the First Lady. He does it at all these things. Occasionally the name slips out, but most of the time, this motherfucker calls her by a title. Fuck him. Right? Yeah, former First Lady, but that's whatever. Seriously, think about that for a second. Think about that in your partner. If you have a husband or a wife, somebody you love in your situation, and you were like at a restaurant with your friends and you're ordering food, and I was like, Hal Sparks will have the ribeye, medium rare, no sides, and an iced tea, and the girlfriend will have the salmon, and like, you imagine talking about your partner that way all the fucking time. It never really jumped out at me as much as it has lately, and part of it, he's starting to forget her fucking first name because he never calls her by it. They don't interact that much. I mean, first of all, most people don't call their partner by their name unless they're in another room or something like that, or they're telling somebody else to contact them, but not face to face. You know what I mean? Like, even when Summer's upset with me, she didn't say Hal, she says babe, to the point where Edward has lost all of its joy. Babe, right? But anyways, in all seriousness, this motherfucker cannot say his own name enough, right? Can't say it, like, he's just constantly repeating it, and he doesn't say hers. Fuck this dude. From as just a guy in a long-term relationship who, whereas, Summer and I are not married. We're boyfriend, girlfriend, but we've been together for a very long time. And this dude's married. He went to a wedding and supposedly, like, having this, like, vows and all that shit and whatever. And he still calls him, makes sure everybody knows his name, and calls her a title. It's gross. Fuck him. I don't understand how somebody sits around in a relationship like that. You go to hell too. You go to hell too. You go to hell too.
So this got taken as the fact that I thought Mercedes was the First Lady. It has nothing to do with that.
Hi, stupid. Okay. Nobody, this is also his way of strawmanning a lie. No. Nobody there, nobody talking about it, thought that you looked at Mercedes Schlapp and thought it was Melania. That's a lie. You are creating a greater lie to for the absurdification of someone's criticism of you. People do this shit all the time, and he's terrible with it. Create a much bigger lie that's not what you said to go, oh, you think I think she's my wife? And like, no, motherfucker. We think you swapped the name Mercedes for Melania because you couldn't get your fucking wife's name out of your brain. You doddering fuck. That's why. Is you couldn't say Melania and Mercedes jumped out of your head. And that's why. We didn't think you couldn't recognize that woman as not being Melania. Believe me, no one makes that mistake. That's this, and again, I think maybe I think the absurdification of a lie is a good phrase. I got to come up with a tighter phrase for that. But he does this shit all the time. I bet Melania made him do this. I think you're right. Somebody who the chat said, yes, Diane Russell in the chat. I think you're right. I think she's like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck the Christmas is going on here? Why you thought my name was Mercedes? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's in the prenup. You have to say my name once every third gathering. You can refer to me as First Lady the rest of the time, but we negotiated. You would say my name out loud so that I can put a branding on purses at some point and sell them, you fucking sir, cacao. Right? Jesus. The fossilization of a lie. I like that one. That works. But I think it's like it's the straw manning of a lie, but it's the absurdification. What it is it's an attempt to make your criticism of me or whoever you're talking about absurd. Oh, you think I don't know if I look at this person, I think that's my wife? You think that? Like, no, motherfucker. I just think you couldn't remember your wife's name. And you said somebody else's name. And then instead of going, what'd I say? Jesus Christ. Oh, there are too many M's. I'm saying too many things with too many M's. And laughing it off and going, Matt and Mercedes are over here. Melania's at home. Just to be clear. And laughing it off and people going, oh, you had a brain fart. We all talk like that. And that's fine. And making it a personal thing. This motherfucker has to put out a 2-minute video going, right? That's what this is. This is 2 minutes of right? But he's trying to absurdify the argument of everybody else, saying that it's not the name that he swapped out and that he couldn't fucking remember. Prevarication outrage. That's a big one. I like it though. Prevarication outrage. CSL. That's kind of magic. Marriage is what brings us together today. Man and wife. Right, he said Mercedes because he was afraid he was going to say Marla Maples. Whoo! Oh, God, that day's coming. I mean, the dude already mistook E. Jean Carroll for Marla Maples in a fucking photograph after just saying that she's not his type, which, I mean, if he was still married to Marla Maples, that would have been a fucking phone call, too. Talk to my lawyer, clunk, clunk. Right? But at some point, what do you think the chances are in the very near future that Donald Trump says our great First Lady Marla, people say Melania like Melania. Melania, she's like Narnia. I'm fucking Narnia. Not anymore. She won't let me. She keeps saying sir. Prevarication outrage. I like it. Prevarication outrage. It's always the same. All right. All right, here we go. Let's finish this. Whatever. This dude, honest to fucking God, I've seen mea culpas. Like, you ever see like YouTubers come on and go, I'm sorry, I was terribly racist and gross and cruel to half of my chat, whatever they do. You ever see the burn down videos of like YouTubers when they fuck up really bad by, I guess, saying the quiet part loud or getting caught on, on tape or buying into the outrage machine shit? Those are fucking hilarious. Don't do them, by the way, YouTubers. I'm dead serious. Don't do them. If you're awful, just stop doing videos. And if you've been caught being awful, go away. But if you are misunderstood and people are freaking out or whatever, write it the fuck out. People get over it. That's what family is. Anyways, but some of these folks will put these like, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Right? Those videos. That's what this looks like to me. This is one of those, I didn't say that, and when I did say that, I didn't even mean that, and when I did mean something like that, I said it even better than you said, and you, fuck you people, I hate you. This guy's running for president. Look, all the silly shit I do all day long, I'm House Parks. I'm doing House Parks shit in House Parks room, in the House Parks internet. In the corner of the House Parks internet. I'm House Parksing over here. And because I'm House Parksing in my little House Park space, nobody has to see it. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. It's fucking great. Right? I'm not going, P.S. I'm trying to run your life, right? As president yet. But honestly, but this guy wants to be in charge of fucking everything. And he's putting out a 2-minute video going, this is not true. I didn't say anything like this. You guys suck. I know who my wife is. Always back to your mother. Why don't you just work it out? Right? What an asshole.
These people are really dishonest. They are absolutely something.
They are absolutely something. You know, it's nice to know he's still got it with the nicknames and the, you know what I mean? He just whip out, you know, he was just bragging last week about how people come to him and go, hey, can you come up with a nickname for my opponent because you're so good at it? By the way, if you're a Republican, you're running for office and you've asked him to do that, you should give him credit. If you don't, you're obviously a thieving bastard and you're stealing from MAGA, and I'm sure he'd be very upset. You should give credit where credit is due. Secondly, if you asked him to come up with a nickname for your fucking opponent and you couldn't come up with one on your own that's, I suppose, childish to the level of a fucking middle school, then what the fuck kind of Republican are you? Jesus. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Karen, thank you. Thanks for the marathon last night. You know, I'm going to get in trouble. Summer's going to see all these messages. What is this? Thanks for the marathon last night? Excuse me? Babe. Babe, I'm leaving. I must be on my way. The time is drawing near. I'm fine. My singing voice is fine. All right, here we go.
They have a horrible candidate who's a horrible president.
And he's and he's and a hoo. And everybody who's sane does this while they're talking to a camera in the ante room of their fucking Florida place with hat hair over. Right, there you go. Look at this shit. Hold on. Watch how he starts to just kind of like he's getting fucking wound up about this.
These people are really dishonest. They are absolutely something.
Just fill in some really sharp retort there. Absolutely something. But in your mind, you know what I mean? It's the anticipation of a great slam that really does it. You know, he doesn't have to say the really sharp cutting thingy thing, right?
They have a horrible candidate who's a horrible president. They make up things constantly. You take a look at when I use Barack Hussein Obama and I interject him into where it's supposed to be Biden. And
yes. So now this is really getting him to him. This motherfucker is having a moment where he's, well, I would say he walked into a room and he can't find his keys. You know, you having like people like senior moment. Where are my keys? Where'd I put my keys? Which no one's going to have at a certain point because of, you know, alarms on your keys and digital keys that chirp when you can't find them. Like, it's funny. Everybody has an app. Like, I can't find my, oh, there they are. Badoo, 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 whatever. That's not going to be, like, nobody's going to understand even not finding your keys at some point. Shit, people aren't even going to find keys. You're going to thumbprint your way into everything. Honest to God, if I could get a thumb entry key, like a keyless entry for my car, because I have my house's fingerprint because I'm a nerd. You know, you get into my, like, we have to program your fingerprint into to get in the house. Or I guess I can give you code, but I'm really not going to. But I would love that on my fucking car. That'd be awesome, right? But like the idea of having a key, like people are gonna like, what the fuck was that all about? You know how we look at like the old keys from like England, from like jails, the kind that they're trying to get, the kind that the pirates are trying to get in Pirates of the Caribbean that's hanging. $50 for a black MAGA cap, limited time. Oh, fucking hell. I should sell a MAGA cap that has like super small type. It says MAGA on it, but it says, you know, many assholes getting Alzheimer's or something. Manic asshole getting Alzheimer's. and but really small type under the letters. But you can't really, unless you hold it up to almost a microscope, you can't see it. And then just sell it as MAGA hats and that are really sweet. Just like really trick it out. So, yeah, skeleton keys. They kind of like just hang around. That's how people are going to look at normal keys. And so nobody's going to have this experience. But anybody, even at my age or younger, you're like, I can't find my keys. And you're like, senior moment. You joke about senior moment, and you just move on. When you have a kid, and you see a little kid, 8, 10, 12 years old or whatever, walk into a room and go, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was thinking about something else. And they go do something else. And you're like, oh, that just happens to people. You don't get all fixated on yourself. This motherfucker, who has no interaction with anybody except basically, I guess, servants and assistants and campaign and staff, just staff all the time, staff. He doesn't have any personal interaction on a human level with fucking anybody, right? So he's freaking the fuck out. He doesn't have anybody like, you ever walk in the room and forget? Yeah, I do it all the time. It's fine. Probably just need some B vitamins, whatever, like that kind of shit. But this dude is, paid relationships, Rex. That is exactly right. Many assholes getting arrested. Yeah. I like manic asshole getting arrested. That's pretty good. Okay. Anyways, he's having these freak out moments, and he's got no one around him who to tell him it's okay. Everybody else around him is like, he watches people walk away from him, I have no doubt, all the day going, yeah, you got it, boss. Oh, shit. Like they, you know what I mean? Where they react to him like, oh, this is not good. Yeah?
I do it purposely for comedic reasons.
Sorry. Comedic. Fuck you. You're a comedian like Jimmy Dore's a fucking comedian for comedic reasons. By the way, when he says Barack Hussein Obama, he's not doing it for comedic reasons. He's doing it to gin up the racist chunk of his base that's left over from that birtherism horseshit. And he does whenever, most of the time when he says Barack Hussein Obama, he brings up Rush Limbaugh as a way of like stealing valor from Rush Limbaugh with that crowd. He thinks an audience would have liked Rush Limbaugh, and that, and they did, and they, and he wants credit for giving him the fucking Presidential Medal of Freedom, so he brings him up to remind everybody how good he was to Rush. And if you like what Rush did, you'll like what I did, and since he's dead, I can have his jokes. It's as a matter of fact, he's almost exactly like Jimmy Dore, because Jimmy Dore went to DC and did a dead comics jokes, and as if they were his.
And for sarcasm, because
sarcasm. What idiots have instead of a sense of humor.
a lot of people say that Obama's running the country, not.
Nobody says that. Nobody. No one. No one with any sense. I mean, again, and you can't say grandiose, never, ever, anyone, nobody, anybody, no one, none of that. Those don't work in general. But if we're talking about statistical, improbabilities, I suppose, where you got like a 0.0005%, that we can qualify as nobody. And seriously, no one thinks that Barack Obama is running the fucking White House. Honestly, they float this all the time. Rob Glenn, remember when Laura asked if he was going to be more of a comedian this campaign? Oh yeah, are you going to be? Pete, you're funny. You're funny. That's probably Rob Glenn. Why? Thank you, Andrea. That's probably why he's saying for comedic reasons, because that's stuck in his head. Like you could tell that like fucking words are like ping pong balls in his head. They just kind of, once they get in, they just kind of bounce around, right? And it's just kind of like, oh, that, like he's chasing this. I was awesome. She thought I was awesome. They thought that was good. And he's chasing these like ping pong. He's got like 20 ping pong balls bouncing around his empty fucking dome, right? And he's just chasing whichever one will make his ego feel better. I'm serious. Yeah, he gets stuck on the words because he's like a dog.
Biden, because he's sleeping all the time.
No, he isn't. No, you called him Sleepy Joe, and you had to retire that because he was too angry, and you were going to do Angry Joe, but angry sounds tough to you, so you just started Crooked Joe because you had Crooked Hillary, and you're just like, crooked works, crooked, and I'm a crook, so therefore, if I dissipate the value of the word crooked, right? How about this, motherfucker? How about Traitor Trump? Yeah, you want to go Crooked Joe Biden, whatever. There's not even alliteration in that. But Traitor Trump works, you dumb motherfucker.
They say, oh, I don't know the name of the president. Or when I imitate this guy getting off a stage.
Look, he's like, hey, yeah. Okay, so Lincoln Project took video of him, pretending to be Biden and wandering around the stage. And they used it in their video of him fucking up all these things. And this would be, the prevarication outrage. It's always the same. That he's trying to do here, the ad absurdum argument is they put that on the end of there and he doesn't want to address all the fuck ups and flubs and slurry speech and all that shit and where he screws up. So he jumped on that, right? He got mad at Lincoln Project for putting that on there. I was imitating Biden when I was stumbling around. They made me look like I was stumbling. Okay, first of all, everybody knows that. Everybody who watches those things, watches the Lincoln Project stuff, they know. They know that he was imitating him. They also know that Lincoln Project is fucking with him. And what he doesn't know, and it's very strange, but he's not aware that the Lincoln Project knows exactly what his weaknesses are, and they're playing to them. And what's embarrassing about that clip, that moment, that thing, is not only that he's imitating Biden and he's being a dick, which is unpresidential and what have you, but it's his reaction to them showing it. They show it like, hey, here's him stumbling around the stage, and him overreacting, going, wait a fucking second, I didn't really do it. These bastards. All right. The fact that he reacts that way is the embarrassing part. Right? Look at the fucking panic in this. Because I got to tell you, if somebody took a character I was doing and took it and went, this is Hal Sparks and what Hal Sparks thinks, and they used to shot a ficus, bless his heart, as an indicator of my actual political beliefs or something like that, and they went, this is Hal Sparks's idea of what education should all be about, or the criminal justice system, right? I go, dude, okay, that's kind of funny. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, right? Yeah, have fun, guys. That's a little silly, but all right. Yeah, have at it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you I don't know what it would be, the Obama Project, when they come for me, right? That would be the equivalent. You go, hey, okay. Could you play that on the loop? Can I have the raw footage of that? That was amazing. Whatever. You know what I mean? How you're doing the Brad Pitt thing from 12 Monkeys? Oh, you mean the finger wag? Because that was his big thing. He would do these two fingers, and this one he would. That always stuck out to me. But he had didn't you have a funky eye in that? He had he wore a contact. Never mind. Don't get me distracted like this. I'm in the middle of discussing comedy. This is what happens. The chat is in front of my eyes, and I'm like, oh, 12 Monkeys. I love that. Also, watch La Jetée. Or Le Jetée? Le Jetée. La Jetée. La Jetée. The thing it's based on. It's very strange. It's 12 minutes long, and it's all still images. There's only one moving image in it, and it's what 12 Monkeys is from. Yes, 12 Monkeys Brad Pitt is peak Brad Pitt in a lot of people's minds. I agree. Anyways, back to One Monkey here. He's a minute and a half through this fucking thing, and he's freaking the fuck out.
What they do is they say, oh, he had trouble getting off the stage. I have no trouble getting off the stage. Anybody that watches what I do at rallies would say, wow, that's amazing. He can.
Wow, that's amazing. He gets off a stage like nobody gets off a stage. Wow, no, it isn't. This, I don't know what the fuck this is. No, it's not amazing. It's not. I've watched all of them, you dumb motherfucker. It's terrible. Tom Cruise dancing with a fat ass, yeah.
Go 2 hours without a teleprompter, not making even a little mistake.
Actually, if I may, Not even a little.
Michigan gave us Motown. Gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
Not even.
Free health care for illegal. Look.
Yeah, not even a little
Here I
mistake.
am like an idiot.
This
When they gaze upon Yosemite,
not even a
Christopher Columbus, Christopher, huh?
Dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
not even a little
I've been
mistake.
involved in the two greatest scams in American history.
I had to beat off.
They don't like the gas.
Okay. Not even a little mistake. You're just gonna
Purge the anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism. What you're doing?
yeah, not even pro-turtism. Not even what you're doing. What you do.
China don't buy. None of you buy.
And then but never mind the mistakes, just the weirdness.
He can do things with his tongue you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. Hold on. This one. Now they're acting up.
Don't touch my hands, son. There's something about that works.
Hold on.
You have the ocean and you have the sun. There's something about that works.
What?
Don't touch my hands because they're dirty.
So,
Peace through strength on the earth beyond.
beyond. Without even a little mistake, motherfucker, that's the point. You made a little mistake, and you can't get over it. I got news for you, motherfucker. Making a little mistake ain't the problem. Refusing to admit the mistakes you make is fucking scary in a leader. That's what's disqualifying. Not that you flub or you fuck up. Everybody does. Nobody fucking cares. It's the fact that you dig in and you have to crank out a 2-minute fucking correction video over an M-word flub. That's the problem. This is the embarrassing part. You fucking tit. Maggots, listen to me. Hear me now and listen to me later. This is the problem with this guy. Not when he fucks up and says goofy shit like...
Michigan gave us Motown. Gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
Right? Nobody knows. Oh, sorry, did I miss a super chat? I beg your pardon. Thank you so much ahead of time. I will try and find it. If I scroll through, I'm busy doing this. I'm always terrible at this. Hit the like, by the way, while I'm doing other shit. Thank you so much. I'm scrolling. But maggots, listen to me on this. I genuinely mean this. The problem is not his fuck-ups. The problem is not saying Mercedes instead of Melania because it's an M-word and whatever, and you're doing a bunch of speeches. Seriously, it's not the problem. It's not even what I'm making fun of. When he fucks up like that, I'm not making it like you might think the joke is about him fucking up. The joke isn't in that because I don't watch other people when they fuck up like that don't normally talk for a living and or don't brag about what a great orator they are, right? If you just go up there and you're making a speech and whatever, and you might flub, it might be funny like somebody tripping in the street and we all go, but for a second. But that's not the kind of belly laugh you get when this motherfucker screws up. And the reason is because he brags about having the best words and knowing more than anybody else. And once you set yourself up, and that's the standard, that, right? He's saying, not only do I never fuck up, but I'm better than you. That's what makes this funny to me. That's what makes him a fucking clown. In the pejorative sense. You understand? I don't give a fuck when, and it's interesting, like some people will say, why don't you, like occasionally a maggot will stroll by and go, why don't you make fun of Biden the way he talks sometimes? Because he's never ever come out and said, I'm the greatest speaker in the world, I know more than everybody, and I have the best words. That's why. I don't have a problem with people screwing up when they talk. As a matter of fact, most people can just fucking shake it off. This is the joke. Oh my gosh, T-Dub. Thank you so much. Great transcript reading last night. I love the show. Thanks, Hal, guest mods and sparkles. Thank you, T-Dub. That's very sweet. Thank you for showing me that, Andre. It went by in my feed and I I can only scroll back so much, and I missed it. So thank you so much, T-Dup, for the super chat. Oh my God, you guys are lovely. This is the thing. And again, this is why, in many ways, the first real Clouseau movie, which is in my mind, Shot in the Dark, which is based on a play called L'Idiot, which is a spoof of like Agatha Christie mysteries, and is very funny. But they just kind of took Clouseau and put him in this, and why, like, Mr. Bean, for example. Mr. Bean, the series Mr. Bean is fucking hilarious. The movies Mr. Bean were not funny. And the reason is because in a movie setting, you have to like the guy to want to sit there and watch him. And I may be accidentally stumbling on something in terms of our anti-hero obsession in the United States that's happened over the last few years, is that you can have a semi-likable or unlikable character on television because you can turn it off with a flick of a switch if he gets too unlikable, and you can stop it. In a movie, I have to know that when I'm going there, I'm going to want to see this person succeed, or even if I don't like them, like The Godfather, something like that. It's got to be deeply moving in that regard to interest me in going to a theater to see it. So a lot of times what they do is they take a character that's an absolute prick and they soften him up. And so, honest to God, one of the problems with the Steve Martin Clouseau is that he's too likable. Because Steve Martin's version of aloof is actually an attempt at being liked, and the same thing. And unlike, like if you're looking at Peter Sellers' version of it, he's a dick. He's such an asshole, and you can see why the Herbert Lom character is developing a twitch about this guy, because he's an asshole. And the same thing with Mr. Bean. In the series of Mr. Bean, he's a dick. And so when he gets away with stuff, it's or he fails or something screws up, it's funny or frustrating because of that. Okay. The reason they're funny when they fail is because they were dicks in the first place. Steve Martin, The Jerk, is a classic. And it's a great example. The Jerk is not that kind of character. Ironically, the character's called a jerk, and he's not. He's actually more of a Forrest Gump than anything else. He's actually very likable. Navin Johnson's a moron. He's not a jerk. And the movie, more honestly, would have been called The Moron, and you would have gone, oh yeah, it makes sense. But The Jerk is sharper and funnier. Also, somebody said, why tit, Hal? Why tit? Because boob is just a softer version of like an old, almost vaudeville term for somebody who's like this. And so I like tit is just sharper. Does that make sense? It's a sharper way of saying boob. That's why. That's all. So I just like, yeah, it just works. It's got more cut to it. Yeah. So the reason he's hilarious and ridiculous and sad and a terrible leader is because he has to follow up a minor fuck up where he can't walk off stage and go, I talk all day. What did I say? Mercedes instead of Melania? Jesus Christ. All right. Obviously, I know who my wife is. I misspoke a word. Next, what's your question about the policy? I obviously am not going to do that in a meeting, so who cares? What are you saying? And then you get to the policy, right? You jump right past it. But he can't, because he's fucking weak. That's what this is about. He's a weak egomaniac who's shitty to his family and shitty to his followers, and that's why he's worthy of mockery. And that's why he's a fucking tit. All right.
Very few people, maybe almost nobody, can do what I do. So
Hey, asshole, I got news for you. I can do it every day, all day. Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. Most comics can do it and be funny the whole time, and we don't even have to repeat ourselves if we don't want to. Jesus Christ. And the fact that he like has his fallback, who wants to hear the snake? And he's got it written on a fucking piece of paper. Like, you don't have that shit memorized by now? Mr. Greatest, best words.
here's the story.
Okay, we're at minute 43 into a 2:08 video. Here's the story. Folks, here's the story.
The disinformation of the Democrats is unbelievable.
Okay, that's the story. The disinformation of the Democrats is unbelievable. Well, disinformation would technically be not believable. Unbelievable because it's not a thing. Right, yeah. Okay.
They do it because they have a horrible candidate.
Yeah, you said that earlier twice.
Don't associate me with the mental midget that you portray, because I want to tell you.
Don't associate me with the mental midget that you portray. Okay. First of all, asshole, mental midget that you portray is us portraying you as a mental midget. Nobody who is pointing out your fuck ups is doing it in comparison to Biden. So what you're trying to do is turn the fact that somebody somewhere called this asshat a mental midget and it stuck with him, and now he's trying to go, no, Biden's a mental midget and don't associate me with him. That's the
He should not be leading this country.
You mean you? The mental midget that we were portraying you as because you are a mental midget? You fucked up fidget?
And hopefully on November 5th, he's not going to be. We're going to have a big election.
Hi, just so you know, and you might want to remember this from the fact that after you lost the election, you were still president for a couple of months, and you were too busy fighting to try and steal the election to continue being president. Remember you said after the election we would have had to deal with Iran, and you could have because you were still fucking president, but you just decided, fuck the world. If they nuke somebody, I don't give a shit. If I lose an election, they deserve to die. It's essentially how he did. Whoever's president when they lose an election is still president till January. Dum-dum.
We're going to have a big victory, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you.
And we're going to make America great again. I'm not stupid. I'm not a mental midget. We're going to make America great again. And I'm going to turn this place into a ranch. That's the, yeah. Two-minute video. This motherfucker had to roll in with hat head. Where's the side shot? Yeah, there he is. With hat head. And make a video going, fuck you, I'm not stupid. He's stupid. You're stupid. You just watch. I'm going to show you. Grown man. Grown man. Look, I recognize I'm ridiculous sometimes. Ridicule is my business. And business is good. But at no point do I ever see myself making a video anything like this. Because even if I made an embarrassing fuck up and people jumped on it, or even, how about this, even given it the benefit of the doubt, that I made something that people said was an embarrassing fuck up that was all over the place, and it actually wasn't. They are mistaken. And I'll give you a good example. The video of Joe Biden walking to the side of the stage, going like that, hey, man, to a friend of his, that Joe Rogan and all these fuckwads said is Joe shaking hands with nobody in the middle, like on the stage. Remember that? Remember that video? Or they showed it. Fucking Rogan still shows it. Still shows Biden going, hey, man, like that to somebody who's off stage. And you can, like even, and I got to say, credit where credit is due. Even Glenn Beck, when they watched the whole video and they're like, he's clearly gesturing to somebody who's off the side of the stage. He's not shaking hands with somebody who isn't there. But everybody else just went with it. Did Joe Biden come out and do a video like, I know how to shake hands with people. I shake hands all the time. I've shaken more hands than you've ever shaken in your fucking life. Not a joke. Fuck you, and I'll shake hands with whoever I want to. As a matter of fact, I'm going on a handshaking spree, right? Can you imagine? And that is a one-to-one moment comparison according to what he said. Now, I do believe he fucked up Melania and Mercedes' name, and it bugged him the rest of the night. Maybe she jumped on him and other people, and it embarrassed him. So he's trying to fix this. Not a joke, folks. Folks, I'm serious. Not a joke. And yet at the same time, let's just take him at his word. Same fucking thing. Joe Biden gestures to a friend of his who's like, "Hey man, good to see you," like that. He went like that. And Joe Rogan, thanks, Andrea. Or wait, maybe CSL put that. I'm over an hour. Yes, I am. I gotta go. All right, I gotta rest my voice a little bit. So I'll finish on this. Joe Biden, when that video went everywhere, went viral, of him allegedly, I mean, the fucking Newsmax ran with it, Fox showed it, Sean Hannity showed it, and it was all a lie. Fake news, as Norm Macdonald used to call it. Right? Yes, everybody makes mistakes. There's no shame in it. Where their shame is in pretending you didn't make a mistake and attacking everybody who did it, or if everybody made a mistake about, misunderstood you or whatever, attacking the world, going, "You fuckers," instead of just letting it slide. After that handshake thing, you know what Joe Biden did about it? He went back to being president. He let it slide. It's not important. There are other things in life more important. And I got to tell you, Joe Rogan's reach and the fact that he used that clip is a broad and deep attack on Joe Biden. You understand? Like, seriously. That had impact. He has a big fucking audience. And a huge chunk of Joe Rogan's giant fucking audience thinks that Joe Biden, to this day, thinks Joe Biden shook hands with air. And will jump on that and will bring it up again and again. And so will Joe Rogan. Without batting a fucking eye. That's exactly what Trump is complaining about here. And Joe Rogan will do it every day of the week. Doesn't give a fuck. Did Joe Biden, though, go on, online and go, "I demand a retraction from Joe Rogan. You gotta stop showing that clip of me. I was waving at someone. I wasn't shaking hands. I was saying, 'Hey man, how you doing?' to a friend in the audience. This is terrible." And like put out a 2-minute fucking video, or even the campaign. Did he direct somebody, even without him? Did he direct his campaign to attack Joe Rogan over this shit? No, because he's a fucking adult. And Joe Rogan is an asshole. Genuinely an asshole. Morally, emotionally, philosophically, psychosexually. He's an asshole. He makes his money, he makes his living being an asshole. That's what the show's about. And in America, you have the freedom to be an asshole. Good on you. And if you can mine that to buy yourself a couple of giant houses, knock yourself the fuck out. And somebody's like, would Hal go on Rogan? I've been on Rogan's show. He's never going to invite me back. And again, I will say this, chat room, because it's because of a very simple argument that he and I have had in the past and is ongoing. And my belief is that that you, as a human being, are a complete person. That everything you need is in your being and is accessible through your own conscious effort. You do not need mushrooms or anything else to get to it. It might take work. You might have to meditate. You might have to fucking do some navel gazing. You might have to do fucking lots of yoga. You might have to, run a marathon or something like that. But all those traits, all those things are embedded in you. And Joe Rogan thinks they're not, that you need drugs to find them, to make them occur in your body. I think every person who uses drugs in any way is you plus drugs. You have added that on to who you are, but it is not a discovery process. It's there. That's my belief system. And his belief system is that every person he meets who hasn't done ayahuasca or fucking DMT or acid or anything, that person, that human being that he's meeting, man, woman, child, that person is a human minus drugs. So they are less human than they could be. That the only reason you are yourself is because you've done these things. And I think you're yourself because that's already there. Hal's obviously never done hallucinogens. Of course I haven't. I've never done drugs in my life. I'm not going to do drugs. I have no interest in doing drugs. There are plenty of people doing drugs. They don't need a spotter. They don't need somebody to join in. I'm fine. I don't carry a lot of judgment about it. I'm just not going to do it. Because I believe in my own completeness. And I have not seen in any of these folks, especially Joe, that argue for this shit, some form of, next level understanding of concepts, ideas, like, oh, once I did that, I took this, I stopped making mistakes. Or all the annoying human things that we all do, I no longer do those anymore. It's a fucking sidecar. And I don't think motorcycles need sidecars. Unless you have a dog that will wear a helmet. But the point I'm trying to make is, and again, remember, every joke you've ever seen me do on this show, every silly character, every improv you've ever seen me do, I have done without the aid of substances. Yeah? So, again, that's my opinion about it. It doesn't have to be, and this might be the shocking part, this is probably this is probably like antithetical. Now I'm trying to find a way to phrase this that's, because these are okay. I don't do any of these things. I have a judgment internally about it because that's how I mandate behavior on myself anyways. That's how everybody does. This would be good, this would be bad. This is what I want to do, this is what I don't want to do. That's fine. I have never seen in any of the people that advocate for this shit, I mean genuine advocate. I don't mean people who do it and they're just living it or whatever. That's different. But the people who specifically advocate for it the way Rogan does, the way Jimmy Dore does, and that kind of stuff, where they advocate for these things, that's actually made them better. A material change. Is Joe Rogan's stand-up now better than it was before he did that shit? Absolutely not. He's angrier and louder, but his joke writing didn't improve. His jokes aren't funnier. As a matter of fact, he's stopped doing stand-up for all practical purposes. They do these live shows, I guess, but it's not really stand-up. Just kind of an aggravated blatherfest from what he does on his show. There's no separation. There's no room for it. And again, it's if it was an obvious and elevatory experience, that'd be one thing. If you could point to, oh yeah, well, there was we wouldn't have Einstein, we wouldn't have, any of the great designers at Apple or anything if they hadn't done these things. You'd make an argument for human elevation is only caused because of these things. Fine. But that isn't the case. And so my simple argument is I'd rather find it in myself naturally than seek it through a chemical addendum that may or may not do me some damage. Yeah? And I happen to fucking love my life and the people in my life and my experience of them. So I don't need to alter my experience of them. Yeah. For that. I just don't. It's okay. Now, if somebody else does it, let me tell you something. And this we'll end on this. You know why Breaking Bad was a shitty show? And why I rooted for the demise of the main characters in that? Is because Walter White let that girl die of an overdose in her bed. She was choking from a heroin overdose, and it would affect his business early on in the show. And that let me know, as a character, that it wasn't about someone being pulled into an anti-hero situation and becoming someone bad and I can't believe what I've turned into, right? That would be the story. That would be an interesting story to watch. If it took him 4 seasons to go, Jesus Christ, I just let her die. What have I done? After all this time, he did it right away. He did it right away. And to me, that means there is no arc in this. We're not watching someone who's a hero become an anti-hero. We're watching a dude just kind of be awful. And I have no interest in that. I watched the whole series. Yeah. And the fact that he let her die that early I was like, oh, fuck this dude. I'm watching it to see the day he gets taken down. But I didn't root for him. Right? Like Jesse, though? Well, again, Jesse also continued to work with him after he found out he let her die. So, Jesus. That said, to me, that's what made him a bad person. That's what made him, he was evil to the start. We weren't watching the burning down of a character. So you see someone, wow, anyone who's good can be turned bad. That's a story worth watching. That actually is a series that you could watch. Like, oh my God, over the course of this person starts out really positive, and then they go through this terrible teardown. And then maybe in the final season, they wake up to what they've allowed themselves to be turned into, and then they turn things around and they make it right. Whatever that, a redemption story. Great. Bryan Cranston crushed that role, though. I would argue that those roles are easy to crush. With the right music and enough squinting, it's not hard to create a character like that. Ask Clint Eastwood. So, and not saying that, and by the way, there's a lot of other people doing heavy lifting acting in that were amazing. Don't get me wrong. The overall story arc is what I'm talking about. The essence of that kind of idea, I found disgusting. There, you want to find a judgment? There it is. Did I have judgment did I look at that girl who was choking on her own vomit and go, oh, she kind of deserves it. You know what I mean? I don't do drugs, and if she didn't do drugs, she wouldn't be in that situation. That wasn't my reaction. If I'd have been there, I'd have saved her life. I think most people would. Right? Most chat room, most of you would, I guess. Yes? And so, that was a defining moment for the character and a defining reaction for me. Like if she, if somebody, I don't do drugs, I'm never going to do drugs. But if somebody was dying of an overdose in front of me and I could save their life, you fucking ain't right, I would. Even if there was nothing in it for me, or it would fuck up my business plan. Jesus Christ. Right? At least turn her on her side. Exactly. Like it wouldn't even do that. That's the point. Because she was blackmailing him. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to watch a teenage girl choke to death who's blackmailing me. If she's got something to blackmail her, that's on me, not on her. And I'm like, blackmail's not a capital crime. How Breaking Bad is not real life. No, we're talking about the morality of the storyline. I know it's not real life. Secondly, we're talking about how someone would react in that situation. That's what stories are about. Criticism of, because the story, they were distinctly saying something in this. They wrote it to convey a certain belief, convey a certain attitude, convey a certain sense of right and wrong. People in real life have absolutely done that, though. I agree. Yeah. You saying the writers blew it on that one? Yes. But how you're not a crazy meth cook? Neither was he, Mr. Ryzen Mojo. He wasn't a crazy meth cook. He was a man dying of cancer who was supposedly going to save his family by by making perfect meth and selling it. And then as soon as he got enough money, he was out. Yeah. But how this was a moral tale, your moral view affected you, but not everyone viewed it as unbelievable it happens? No, I know it happens. And that's what I'm saying. And in that situation, were it to really happen, that would be my reaction, even if it would cost me. And the idea was that you were gonna root for him. You were supposed to root for him. So your issue is really with Vince Gilligan? Sure, absolutely. In that story, of course. The point I'm trying to make is that this is really about judgment, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of like Joe Rogan's judgment about every human being is not a human being until they've done DMT. They're not really a human. They're basically an ape. What do you think that the Joe Rogan experience, that monkey thing, is that we're all just primates with no real free will until we do this thing. And so that's how he views the world. That's how he looks at people, human beings. And if he doesn't, he's selling something, right? That's what he, at least in the tale of Vince Gilligan and this in the Joe Rogan world, this is what he would be presenting to the world as, this is what I believe about the world, right? That's what that whole monkey noise is that we're all just apes till you do this kind of stuff, and then you're elevated like me, is the idea, which I think is gross and silly and dismissive of humanity. And I don't look at it that way. That's all I'm saying. All right, I kept talking way longer than I was going to. I got to go rest my voice because I got to do a show in just a couple hours, and I have to pack. So, ahem. Love you guys. Take care of yourself. Take care of somebody else. And I'll see you later on today. I love these kind of conversations, and I can do them all day without a teleprompter. Funny how it works out after what he said, because I took it back. Thank you, guys. See you later.
Mercedes Schlapp, and I said, wow, they really like the First Lady. So this got taken as the fact that I thought